Dr. Piper, how can a preacher help his people love the doctrine of God's providence, especially in light of the suffering that is part of God's providential plan for us?
You may say, I don't want God to Job me, meaning I don't want him to take all 10 of my kids away at once and take my health away and turn my wife on me. And you may say that, but that's going to happen to you. So forget about who caused it. That's going to happen to you. And then my question is, who do you want to be in charge of your martyrdom? You got Satan, blind fate, God. Who would you like to be in charge of your martyrdom? Well, I'd like Satan to be in charge. Or I'd like blind, meaningless, empty, nihilistic fate to be involved. Or a loving, kind, wise, perplexing Father. Now that's one answer right there. A biblical textual answer would be, as you unfold text after text that show God governs all things, you weave together with the proof of the doctrine the sweetness of it. The one that comes to my mind is Jesus says in Matthew 10 that not a sparrow falls to the ground apart from your Father, which means that's Jesus' way of saying, R.C. Sproul, there are no maverick molecules. Sparrows are about the most insignificant thing he could think of. Millions of sparrows in all the forests of the world dropping dead by the hour. Not one of them falls off the limb apart from God's appointment. But then he says, the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not. You are of more value than many birds. So Jesus made the connection between the meticulous providence of God and the sweetness of who governs your life. To believe that God governs us meticulously, if you combine that with He's my Father, all my sins are forgiven, I'm destined for infinite happiness, then that is a very freeing, fear-destroying, emboldening motivation to move forward in life. One last thing. I mean, when the towers were hit, 9/11, 2001, and you saw these planes, right, with 60 to 90 people on board, and they're coming and they catch the edge of the building, like about 30 feet in, right, explode into this ball of flame, and everybody's wondering where God was. I got a call the next morning from the local radio station, said, would you come on and help our people? And I did. And the question is, why did God either allow or do that? And I said, now look, these planes are flying at the time maybe 400 miles an hour, and they could have veered off by about 60 feet and saved 2,500 lives. 60 feet. Do you believe God can blow a plane 60 feet off course? Can He do that? Because Jesus said the wind and the waves obey Him. Wind obeys Him. 25,000 people don't die. Do you believe that? And that's immediately crisis. Call it allow or call it cause doesn't make any difference. God could have stopped it. He didn't stop it. Now, is that comfortable to the, 3,000 kids lost parents that day? 3,000 children lost parents. I can't remember how many spouses were lost. My answer is yes, it is comforting. It's comforting, among other reasons, because the life that you are confronted with without your dad, how are you going to live that life? How are you going to cope? How are you going to handle all the problems a dadless life is going to bring to you? Answer, God can do this. If you say He can't blow a plane off its course, He can't do this. He can't help you. He will not be of any use to you for the fulfillment of Romans 8:28. If you want a life where everything works together for your good, you have to have a God who can blow a plane off its course by 60 feet, and He didn't do it. Therefore, He has wise purposes, which we're not going to understand fully in this life. But there's the choice. Who do you want to be in charge of your death? Who do you want to be in charge of your life? And as for me and my house, I want us to choose. I want my Father to be in charge.